This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com. Next up, we get a Hulk Hogan promo. And
thank God.
Let me, I guess we've talked about it before, but I want to mention it again. When we're doing all the Rumble pre-tapes, because they are pre-tapes when you've got that many guys one after another, that's done in the afternoon. But this Hogan promo, this has to be live because he's mid promo and completely forgets Saddam Hussein's name. And he turns and looks at Mean Gene and says, "You know who, brother? Saddam Hussein." I mean, he's struggling, but it's live.
He's talking about old Saddam Hussein that used to work Kansas City territory there. You know, Sean Bedford, he was Saddam Hussein. He worked that gimmick there in Kansas City. A little bit, you know, they did a little bit in Nevada too. You look a little like Saddam Hussein.
You gonna tell me anything about the promo, or are we just gonna keep doing bubblegum shit here?
No, it was like, no, dude, it was, what the fuck? It was live. I thought it was fucking great. It was goddamn stereotypical Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
Excited, telling us what the fuck was going to happen. And by God, everything's okay in America because he is American goddamn made. And when it comes crashing down and it hurts inside, what?
You just, you know, every now and again I get frustrated with your ass and then you totally redeem yourself with that shit. Let's get to the Rumble.
Gotta make a stand. You can't run and hide. Cause he's a real goddamn American.
Oh God.
Fight for the rights of every man.
Meltzer would write, the immortal and shameful
Even
Hulk Hogan threw out the charismatic Earthquake to win the Rumble in 65-16. He says, this is the worst of the 4 Rumbles thus far. They kept a lot of the guys in the ring for long periods of time, but unlike in other years when guys like Kurt Hennig, Bret Hart, or Shawn Michaels had their best working shoes on and carried the action for the non-workers, it seemed that everyone was just told to go out there and punch and kick, and little was worked out. There are almost no high spots. Nobody took any kind of special bumps after being eliminated, since Hogan was already told us he was going to win the Rumble before the thing started by guaranteeing his victory for the troops abroad. You know, that's actually kind of funny in hindsight. Can you imagine if he says, I dedicate this match to the troops over in Iraq, man. And then he goes out there and loses. Fuck, you can't do that. All right.
Well, hell no, because this is goddamn real American. I am a real American. Fight for the rights of every man.
Was Pat on hiatus here?
No, Pat was with us.
Why was this Rumble? Why did it look and feel different in execution than the others had?
I think more than anything is because we were worried about so much other shit. And, you know, you're watching everything else that's going on in the world, and you're just wondering about everything else under the sun. So when you're focused on that, you know, Pat had to help with the damn Warrior and Savage stuff, and then you got to do all this. It just wasn't, you know, we spent the weekend down there going over everything, but there were a lot of what ifs, and there were, you know, there were plan A's and plan B's, but there was never a change in the match. There was never a change in the attraction, how we got to that attraction and what we might have done before and after. There were different ways to approach it, but then we were in it. And fucking declared war while we were in the middle of the Rumble. Again, they could have just waited. Like, I mean, think about it. The Royal Rumble's over, and you go to CNN, and they're reporting on Hulk Hogan winning the Royal Rumble. Sergeant Slaughter is the new WWF champion. And oh, by the way, here's President Bush.
You get to be ringside for this. I think this is the only time you were ringside for a Royal Rumble. You come out with The Undertaker. How was your experience that night?
Well, he didn't listen to me. Otherwise, he would have won. And if he'd only listened to me, then he would have won that championship much sooner. I'm confident of that.
You want eventually the final three. You want to talk about a weird Rumble? Normally we get down to a final four and everybody's like, "Oh, what's it going to be?" Well, the final three here: Hogan, Earthquake, who, by the way, they did big business with the prior SummerSlam, and Brian Knobbs. How the fuck is Brian Knobbs what is this?
Anybody could be it. Anybody could win it.
Listen to you.
It is.
The Earthquake stuff here feels like it goes a little long. Eventually they eliminate Knobbs, as we mentioned, but Hulk is teasing, "Hey, I'm going to body slam him." He goes for the body slam and he collapses. So Quake squashes him a few times, but then he does a Superman comeback, a body slam, and a clothesline over the top rope. It feels like the crowd was ready for it to end. Maybe it stretched a little too long. Meltzer gave it 2.25 stars.
The crowd was definitely ready for it to end. I think that the crowd, man, after the Warrior match, they were done.
Yeah, I agree. Well, what did you think of the Rumble? You watched it back 3 weeks ago now and have clearly forgotten that there were even other referees there, but what did you think? Is this the payoff for Hulk Quake here at the end? You know, we don't get more follow-ups after SummerSlam except for this. Is that sort of putting a bow on that feud maybe?
Basically, I guess it's a nod to it. Get people to remember it, but I didn't think it was that good. I didn't think that this was one of those Rumbles where we sat back and went, "Oh my God." It's nice to see Taker out there and get to see me go out there with Mark and all that and do, little things. But, which, by the way, Taker should have been the original Diesel spot when I watched that and looked back on it. And he should have been the guy standing in that ring for about, 7 or 8 people and just clear it. Until finally here comes Hogan or whoever the fuck. But it was okay. It just wasn't great. We had one story to tell that night.
This is before it's sort of promoted as win the Rumble, get a title shot. But as it happens here, Hogan wins the Rumble and gets a title shot at WrestleMania. When do you remember somebody saying, "Hey, why don't we just make that part of the show?"
That was in October or November when I came back before WrestleMania 9.
There you go.
Is a way to get Yoko in there. And the original idea was, I think I've told before, was Scott Steiner, to bring Scott Steiner in as a single. And holy shit, brand new guy, first time in the Rumble, win it and go to WrestleMania.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.